our next article here about Apple unveiling Vision Pro, their AR/VR headset, which is their first new major product in a decade. Now, as we go through this article, what we'll see is that a lot of the applications and what they were promoting and highlighting in the kind of Apple release of this was around more augmented reality use cases, right? Being able to see through the headset and then put inside of an augmented space a TV screen or multiple screens, or be able to interact with things around you while still being able to see completely through the headset. So that augmented space versus completely putting on a headset, not seeing what is in your space and being more in that virtual space. So it's interesting to see that Apple, what they're going after first is more of the augmented reality use cases versus the traditional kind of VR. You're completely immersed in some other world, which I think is a smart decision by Apple. And there's more consumer use cases today for that than traditional VR. So after years of hype, Apple on Monday unveiled its much anticipated mixed reality headset, the Vision Pro, the tech giant's first major new product since the 2015 Apple Watch. From Tim Cook, this is a day that's been years in the making. He believes that augmented reality is a profound technology. Again, highlighting augmented reality. Now, there wasn't a lot of discussion or even mention of metaverse or virtual reality in that release of the product. A lot of what was talked about was augmented reality. The headset, which Apple calls a spatial computer, has two screens and sides with a total of 23 million pixels and a wire connecting the goggles to a battery pack that fits in the pocket, which can power it up to 2 hours of use. So I've seen this a few times, Apple referring to this as spatial computer. Again, when we think about augmented reality and understanding where things are in relation to you, so that you can have a virtual screen there and a virtual screen there, and you can interact with a virtual keyboard, it does need to rely on your placement and the placement of other things. Again, where GIS is going, where location intelligence is going, this idea of spatial computing and augmented reality. As far back as 2016, Apple filed patents for this lightweight eyeglasses and a bulkier device, but while Cook reportedly preferred the more compact option, so originally they filed patents for lightweight glasses or your more traditional VR, bulkier style headset, there were some technical challenges that forced Apple to change its strategy and go with a slightly more bulkier headset. Now, I will say, compared to something like the Quest VR, it's a lot lighter and smaller of a device, but it's not like the Google Glass style headset. It says in Facebook, 2014 bought the startup Oculus for $2 billion and has released 2 generations of its Meta Quest, which is mostly geared towards gamers. Microsoft in 2016 made a big bet on the HoloLens headset, a 3D augmented reality device, but it failed to gain traction with consumers. And early on, Google made the buzziest splash more than a decade ago with the disastrous Google Glass, which was a sleek headset with a camera on board. So again, with a lot of these devices, you're seeing the hardware and software not quite being there, right? The data, the applications, the use cases not quite being there yet. Whether it's just because headsets are too big, right? Here you can see people often complain about the headsets currently on the market, that devices overheat, they're too heavy to wear for too long of a time, or they become uncomfortably sweaty on the foreheads. Others have found the experience of being disconnected to the real world and immersed in full-on virtual reality for long periods of time too isolating. So, you've got devices that today are just too bulky. These companies that have gone straight into virtual reality, people are saying that being in this virtual space for too long, it's too isolating. So Apple's approach to go after augmented reality, where you can still see through the device, but place these virtual screens around, again, I think they're going to see more adoption of this style of headset today. Now, will one day we be completely in a virtual reality space and it will be more widely adopted? I think so. But I think to get people more into VR, we need to start with AR. One important thing here too is that Apple also showed off its partnership with Disney, announcing that Disney Plus streaming service would be available on the device at launch. So content, applications and use cases, right? Another issue again with the VR headset is just different applications or uses of it. So if Apple is able to partner with content providers so that you can sit on your couch and basically have a movie theater style screen pop up without actually buying a large TV or a projector, and they've got really good content, the visuals are really good. Again, I think that folks are going to find this headset very compelling, although the price is very, very high. So with really good technology comes a cost. So it'll be interesting to see if normal consumers like you and me are willing to pay $3,500 for these headsets. But as technology advances, as years go by, the tech will become cheaper, and I think you'll start to see more and more folks buying these headsets for cheaper prices, with these augmented reality use cases being that kind of first set of use cases that Apple is going after. Very interesting to see how all this space is been evolving, and again, where GIS, where location data is starting to come in, location services being able to provide real-time location data and help with understanding space awareness for augmented reality.